Hello, my dear children. Exams are just around the corner, and I can almost feel the tension building up, especially for this chapter, statistics. Am I right?
But please, don't you worry one bit. Your favorite tutor is here, and I promise you, by the end of this quick revision, this chapter is going to feel like a piece of cake. We'll solve everything in a jiffy. Chalo, let's get started.
So first up is the mean. Now, what does this mean? It's just a fancy word for average. Like finding your average marks in a test, or maybe the average pocket money you and your friends get. It's just one number that kind of represents the whole group.
Now, when we have data in groups, the first and the most simple way to find the mean is the direct method. This is the method you should use when the numbers look small and manageable. It's easy, it's direct, no complications. Okay, let's look at this table together. First, we find the class mark, or xi. Don't worry, it's just the midpoint of each class interval. Then, we simply multiply this class mark, xi, with the number of students, fi, to get our last column, fixi. To find the mean, all we do is divide the total of the fixi column by the total number of students. So that's 1860 divided by 30, which gives us 62. See? Simple.
But what if the numbers are really big? Multiplying them will take up so much of your precious exam time, right? Well, for situations like that, we have a very smart shortcut, a little trick to make our lives so much easier.
And that brilliant shortcut is called the assumed mean method. This is a real pro tip, okay? It helps you tackle those big, scary-looking numbers without making silly calculation mistakes. And it's just 3 easy-peasy steps. First, we just assume a mean. We call it A, usually from the middle of our xi values. Then we find the deviation, di, which is just how far each xi is from our assumed mean. And finally, we just put everything into this simple formula to get the actual mean.
And look, here is the magic. See that fitty column? Just look how much smaller and friendlier those numbers are. This makes our calculation so much quicker. And after we do the maths, what do we get? The exact same answer, 62. It's a fantastic time saver in the exam hall.
Now, if you want to be even faster, like a real math wizard, there's one more shortcut, the step-deviation method. We won't go into all the details right now, but just remember this. It's super useful when you see a common factor in the DI column. It makes your calculations even simpler.
All right, let's move on to the next topic, the mode. I think mode is the easiest of them all. It's simply the value that shows up most often. Think about your music playlist. The song you play again and again, that's the mode of your playlist. Okay, I know. This formula looks a little bit long, maybe even a little scary. But don't you worry, it's just like a recipe. Once we understand all the ingredients, it becomes very, very simple to cook up the answer. Trust me on this.
So let's break it down. L is just the lower limit of our modal class, and the modal class is the one with the highest frequency. H is the class size. Now for the frequencies, think of it this way. F1 is our star, the main frequency. Then F0 is the one before it, because 0 comes before 1, right? And F2 is the one that comes after. Simple.
All right, time for a quick question to see this in action. Let's say a survey was done on 20 families, and we have to find the mode of the family size from the data. Are you ready? Let's do it together.
So, first step, look for the highest frequency. Right there, it's 8. That means our modal class is 3, 5. So our L is 3, and our star frequency, F1, is 8. The one before it, F0, is 7, and the one after, F2, is 2. See? We have all our values now.
Now we just put those values into our formula, do the simple calculation, and there it is. The mode is 3.286. So what does this mean? It means the most common family size in this group is about 3 members. That wasn't so scary after all, Henna? Next up, we have the median. So if mode is the most popular one, the median is the one that's exactly in the middle. Imagine if all the students in your class stand in a line according to their height, from shortest to tallest. The person standing right in the center, that's the median height.
Now, to find this middle value in grouped data, we need a special little helper called cumulative frequency. It sounds like a big word, but it's not. It's just a running total. You simply keep adding the frequencies as you go down the table. That's all.
And you guessed it, just like mode, our friend median also has its own special formula. And again, don't be scared, it's just another recipe. And once we know the parts, it's a piece of cake. Let's quickly decode this one. L, F, and H are the same as before.
lower limit, frequency, and class size, but this time for the median class. The new players here are N, which is just the total number of observations, and CF. Now, CF is the cumulative frequency of the class that comes just before the median class. Got it? Great!
So, how do we find this median class? First, we calculate n divided by 2. In this example, we have 53 students, so n over 2 is 26.5. Now we just look at our CF column and find the first value that is just bigger than 26.5. And there it is, 29. This tells us our median class is 60/70. Now we know everything we need, L, CF, F, and H, to put into the formula and find the median marks.
Okay, for our last and very important topic, we've learned about mean, mode, and median. But the big question is, which one should you use and when? Well, the choice really depends on what exactly you are trying to find out.
It's actually quite simple. You use the mean when you want a balanced average, like for student marks where all scores are important. You use the median when there are some extreme values, like finding the typical salary in a company where the CEO earns crores of rupees, which would otherwise mess up the average. And you use the mode when you want to find the most popular item, like the shoe size that sells the most in a shop. And that's it. We have revised the entire chapter. See? I told you it was completely manageable. You are now fully prepared, my dear. You've got this. One chapter is done, and your confidence should be all the way up. All the very, very best for your exams. I just know you will do wonderfully.
But before you go, here's a fun little challenge for you. Now that you're a statistics pro, just look around you today. What's the mode of car colors you see on your street? Or maybe, what's the median number of hours your friends study for? You'll start seeing statistics everywhere. Keep learning and keep shining. Bye-bye.